Welcome. I'm Terry McGill. I'm out here in Portland, Oregon, wherever you are. And this is the Who's Your Neighbor Tuesday night weekly show. Who's Your Neighbor is to bring you every other week people that are around the Portland metropolitan area who are doing really wonderful, open-hearted, caring programs for people, individually or as a group. And then the alternating weeks, and tonight is one of them, we connected with two different Tao Healing Hands practitioners. This is a new, startling to me, mode transformation. And the first one I would like to invite on is from Colorado. And if you'll bring her on, there you are. Christina,
Hi.
welcome.
Thank you.
So you're a Tao Healing Hands practitioner.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, been so for over 5 years now.
That was my next question. Are you psychic too?
Yeah.
So what exactly is it, or generally, that you do?
Yes, so what I do is I offer a blessing to other people. So I connect to Source and I ask for messages of love and light to be offered to the person that I'm offering the blessing to help transform messages from anything that's blocking or hurting them to messages of love and light and something that can help boost and heal them, hopefully.
Wow. So I heard that you have a couple of experiences that you'd like to share with us.
Oh, yeah, I'd be really happy to share some of just the transformations that can happen. And yeah, I'd be glad to do that. The first one I want to talk about is something that I offer myself these blessings all the time because they just transform my life. Since the moment that I received it, for the first time, I was hooked. So now I'm giving myself these blessings all the time. But I want to share something that was quite impressive to me that happened recently. So I was trying to help out a friend whose the car jack that he was using while he was changing his brakes fell and broke, and his whole car collapsed. He was fine, thank goodness, but he needed a jack. So I was able to locate a jack. That one broke too for some reason. I had to leave him in a rush because I was going to a meeting. And when I turned the corner out of his neighborhood, there was some people working on their car. So I asked if we could borrow their jack. And so in the process of asking them to do that, being a little frazzled from being late for my meeting and trying to help my friend out, I collapsed. So while we were walking over to help my friends out, I rolled both of my ankles.
You broke your ankles?
Both of my ankles at the same
Whoa.
time and collapsed. And it was so painful. I don't remember the last time I cried in pain, but I fell and started bawling. And the poor man who was helping me, was just at a loss and have go on without me, But I was crying in pain, and I offered myself this Tao Hands blessing. And that night, I was actually able to work out at the gym. So I don't know.
With broken ankles? You could walk?
I didn't, not right away. I was not able to walk until after I offered that blessing and went on my merry way. But yeah, I mean, I continued to offer it the whole week. But yeah, that same day I was able to go and work out. It was incredible.
I'm amazed by it. Yeah.
I have no explanation for that. Yeah, aside from that blessing. So it can really, change my life. So physical pain, I've had a lot of benefit and seen a lot of change for physical pain. But I'd also like to share with you another story that is for somebody else where I was able to offer for more of an emotional issue.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a good friend, and back in December, she had a pretty powerfully disturbing verbal conflict with somebody that's important to her, and so she gave me a call. And when I received her call, she was so shaken that she wasn't able to really express verbally very well what was going on. So we realized that it was a very strong nervous system response. She was in basically, fight, flight, or freeze. She was in that freeze response. And so I just, offered her a Tao Hands blessing to help her nervous system return to, normal. And she felt immediate relief. The way she phrased it is, she said, I felt I was in hysteria, and then I felt calm. She's like, when you're in that hysterical condition, calm is so far away. So she was very impressed and grateful for that, to the point she was able to return to the event she was at, and excuse herself in a good way, and feel much more calm and collected, and able to offer herself love. So
What period of time did it take for her to calm?
oh, it was instant. It was instantaneous.
Wow.
Yeah, to the point where she could at least, have some clarity and feelings of peace. Yeah.
So is it usual with healing events that it's that instantaneous?
No, it can be all sorts of things. So sometimes it's instantaneous. People do experience that. Some people experience a little difference, and then it grows over time. Some people actually don't, and sometimes me included, don't notice anything right away. And it's later that you're going, oh my goodness, that back pain that I was experiencing, I don't even notice it anymore. Sometimes I've had to ask people, right? Because uh, we're the type of creatures that if we don't feel pain, we're not necessarily noticing it. So if your pain goes away, you might not even notice that you're
Right.
feeling better. So, but yeah, no, it's not always instantaneous.
Yeah, if the smoke alarm goes off and then stops, then I'm in peace and calm, and I'm not thinking about smoke alarms anymore. Same thing with pain.
Right. I love that.
Wow. Interesting. Thank you so much, Christina. So, yes, this is Christina's email address. So, now you're in Colorado, but I understand that Tao Healing Hands practitioners can do remote healings also.
Yeah, so as in with the example with my friend who called, she was in a different city. I did the work over the phone. So it can be remote, it can be in person. So yeah, if anyone wants to have that experience, I would love to offer that.
Super. So we will put that, our engineer, our producer, our magician backstage will put your email address in the chat, and then that will be available in the future.
Great.
Christina, thank you so much. Don't go away. We have one other Tao Healing Hands practitioner who coincidentally, I believe, is in the same city that you're in.
Yeah. It turns out she just moved up here, so that's great news.
So there you are. Hello, Andrea.
Hi. Thank you.
So you're in Colorado. We've got that nailed down. And you've just moved to the same city Christina's in. And you're a Tao Healing Hands practitioner also.
Yes.
Look how much you two have in common.
We do.
Have you met before?
We met through our mentors and Julie and Janet. So we knew each other, but maybe not as well when I was living in another city.
Well, now you have more opportunity.
Absolutely.
So As a Tao Healing Hands practitioner, what have your experiences? What would you like to share with us tonight?
For sure. Thank you, Terry. I'll share two stories. And so the first one is actually going to be like a self-healing story as well. It's great because you can heal, transform information, negative information to positive information for yourself and for your family and friends. It's really a great tool to have. Sometimes I get migraines, and at one point I would get them very frequently. Sometimes I could feel like every day want to come, or every, like at least once a week. And so sometimes when they're like coming every day, like I would lay in bed before I go to bed, and I could always like feel them when they're coming. They usually come in the morning. And then, so I know the night before, like, oh no, I think I'm going to get a migraine in the morning. So I turn my Tao Hands on. And then when I woke up in the morning, I don't have a migraine. And I've done this probably quite a lot. And it's been very helpful. Sometimes there's like a very few occasions where it maybe doesn't, like 100%, but for the most part, it's been incredible, like such a great tool to have for anyone who suffers from migraines. They're no fun, and, they can take you out for a day or more. Usually for me, it's a day, and sometimes it, happens with like other unpleasant symptoms too. So
Christina also mentioned self-healing.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tao Hands is a great tool for self-healing as well.
I'm just going to say that's a good thing to have in your tool belt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now,
And
what have I heard about a squirrel?
Yeah, so that's my second story. So I love to like go outside and go for walks. And so a lot of time on my walks, I'll see animals, and sometimes they're not doing well. Sometimes wild animals, and I offer them Tao Hands blessing, and I've seen a number of transformation. It's really incredible. But the story I'm going to share today is about a beautiful baby squirrel. So actually, it was at my last job in the other city I lived in. My coworker discovered a little baby squirrel that was outside on the sidewalk. And it was just like, it wasn't moving. It was just like sitting there, and there was like nothing around. And I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. And it was still cold that night. It was still like winter kind of turning spring. You can see the squirrel right there. So I was concerned for the squirrel because if its mother didn't come back for it, then it would probably die throughout the night, because, little babies need a lot of warmth, and, they need protection. And so I happen to live like 5 minutes from work, and my manager was like, don't touch the squirrel, and don't deal with them. But I was like, I can't leave this little baby to die. So I took it home in that box where you saw, and it was still like immobile. And it even let me pet it on its head. And I was like, okay, I'm going to offer this squirrel Tao Hands blessing. And so I called up some of my community that also had Tao Hands. And so we offered the squirrel Tao Hands blessing. So the squirrel was just like, you see the box, if maybe you can show the picture again. The box is a very, very shallow box. And I wasn't concerned about the squirrel falling out, because he was like barely moving. His eyes were like almost closed, and I thought the squirrel was going to die at night. And so we offered the Tao Hands blessing, and then I was reading like how to give like squirrels like water. So I came back with like one of the injectors so I can offer it some water. And then the squirrel, like, it was like 360 like turnaround. Like the squirrel was like running around like super fast, and he was gonna like jump out the box, and I was like, oh no, the squirrel's gonna be running around the apartment, and I wasn't prepared for this. It's just
Yeah.
like in a thin little box. Like it's easy to like hop out of the box. I'm like, oh. So I called up one of my friends who's an animal communicator, and I asked her like, what should we do? And she's like, and why is the squirrel like this? And he's like, well, the squirrel just receives so much, like light from this transmission that it's just like, it's just so energized, and so just like give it some calm energy, and it calmed down. And I took it to an animal shelter a couple days later when I could, and they just nurtured it back into like good health until they could like take it back out and to release it into the wild. So
Great. Everybody loves an animal story. A couple of days ago was Easter, and we were, making love with bunnies, and now we've got a little baby squirrel that survived.
I know. Yeah.
So thank you both, because that just made me yes. Oh, yes. If you want to contact Andrea, we've already got Christina. I'll get the names right here yet. We've got Christina's email address over in the chat room, and this is Andrea's. So if you can't write very quickly, it'll be there also for your future reference. So no pun intended, but bunnies and squirrels, and our guest tonight is Bambi. But Bambi, hello. That was such a great combination of animal names there, and so Andrea, would you like to check with Bambi and see what it is that you might be able to offer her?
Sure, absolutely. So, welcome, Bambi. What is your condition tonight that you would like blessing for?
Well, it's kind of complicated in that it's not just one thing, but I do have back pain that's constant at one point or another. It goes down to a 2, but it can spike to like a 5 or a 6. And the reason I can't just sit there and wait for it to get over is I'm recovering from a quadruple bypass, and
Wow.
I'm in cardiac rehab. So, I mean, there's a certain amount of stuff I have to do every day, so the patch will get better. But I can't because my back gets in the way.
Wow, that's a lot. Is it your upper back or your lower back or your whole back?
Mostly my lower back, and I do actually have signs of arthritis in my spine and my in the sacro. But I also have signs of arthritis in the top, leading the cervical leading to my my neck, and in the spine there. And so my shoulders can trigger, they just get so bad that they trigger a migraine. I call them my neck headaches.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
so it kind of slows me down and does not make me as focused as I should be on my heart recovery.
Right. Do you have pain in your heart also?
Believe me, that is the one thing that was relieved by the actual surgery. Up until then, I was eating nitroglycerin tablets like Tic Tacs, because there would be several times a day where the heart pain would the angina would just knock me to my knees. Even the dog knew, like I'd be out walking the dog and the dog would without even looking at me, just stop and wait for me to sit down because I have a rollator and I literally take it along because there's a seat right there when I have to sit down. And the dog wouldn't even look at me. She would just stop and sit because she knew I was having trouble. And we'd wait like 5 or 10 minutes till I could get control of myself and then continue on. And we'd have to do that stop and start until we got back from the walk. But, regardless of anything, my dog has to pee, so we had to go out. But after the surgery, the one thing I have not had is heart pain. That's the one thing that is definitely better.
That's good. So with your neck pain and your back pain, like, would you say you have any neck pain right now? You said your back was about a 2. Is there any neck pain right now?
Neck pain is maybe a 3, or going into a 4. I'm kind of used to it, that doesn't get in my way yet, but it's threatening to. When it gets to be a 5, I can't ignore it anymore.
Okay, for sure. Maybe we can offer just like a whole back and spinal column, like to readjust and align in its proper movement, condition, placement. And I'm wondering, Terry, if you would be open or okay if I brought out also the Tao Bei book to also help.
Would you tell us what the Tao Bei book is about?
Oh, for sure. Do you want me to bring it over?
Sure.
Okay.
So maybe I missed it. I thought you said that the pain was down to a 2, but was higher at other times.
Oh yeah. And the 2 right now, the lower back is like a 2, but the neck is, a 3, 4, and it's still doable. When it gets to a 5, it is not doable.
So Andrea,
So this is a Tao Bei book here. Everyone see?
says Tao
This is-
calligraphy.
This is Tao calligraphy. This is for the back. Tao Bei in the calligraphy actually means back. And so on the back, you see it goes onto the spinal column. And so this is just another tool that we can invoke and offer as well to enhance the blessing for your spinal column, your back, and your neck.
So how does the book work?
Oh, it's amazing. So it has, so this book has, in this calligraphy, it has the highest positive information, love and light, frequency and vibration that can help to transform negative information in our bodies, our hearts, our minds. And you can also like place the book on your body physically. But since you're remote, I can just ask the light and the frequency from this calligraphy to send out its love and light into your spinal column and your neck as well.
So the book can give a remote blessing as well as your hands.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, new
It-
healing for this this time on Mother Earth.
Christina has one too.
Right here.
Well, Bambi, you're just going to get toasted.
Awesome.
Well, I'll just be quiet and let you all go about what you're doing.
Okay, do you want us to do the invocation aloud or silently?
I heard that it should be done silently.
Perfect. Okay, great. So we're just going to connect me and Christina to our Tao Hands and the Tao Bay book for you, Bambi. And so just relax, Bambi, and notice anything. Just receive. Tao Hands, blessing, start. Tao Hands, blessing. Please rest. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. Bambi, did you want to share anything you experienced and felt? And you can move your body around, see if you like your neck or your back or anything feels different, looser.
Yeah, it feels different. I'm trying to analyze the sensation because it feels so there's when my neck starts getting really painful, there's a knot that forms like behind one shoulder blade and shoots up beside my neck. And that got very warm. I don't know what it's doing because it's a new sensation, but it got very, very warm, like as if I had a heating pad, but it's just that knot and then what travels up my neck. So I'm thinking that's good, but I can't pinpoint what that does yet. Except that cold muscles are always bad and warm muscles are always good. So I know it's good. My lower back has probably receded to a 1. I mean, it was a 2 before. It's a 1 or maybe even a 0 right now. I have a hard time identifying it at all, because I haven't felt that way in a long time. But the one that's really standing out to me is the neck, and how it, when you get a massage, when you get a deep tissue massage and somebody works something that has a knot in it, that's kind of the warmth that I'm getting, that's traveling up from under the shoulder blade up my neck. And it does not feel bad. It's just, it's warm. But it's very specific.
Beautiful. You know, actually, before we gave the blessing, I was feeling like the neck needed more work, and I could almost like see like a block, like it was like locked. And now it's just like it feels a lot like free, and like energy can like flow and move freer.
So Andrea, you have a sense of what Bambi is maybe experiencing?
I'm sorry, what was that? Were you talking to Christina or to me?
To you, Andrea.
Oh.
You were talking about experience in your body, but I'm wondering if that's related to, or are you experiencing or sensing what might be going on in Bambi's body?
Yeah, it was what I saw for Bambi. I saw like a block of like stuck, you know, in her neck. Before the blessing, I was just feeling like the neck more, and then now it just feels like energy is flowing, and it's like there's like more like movement, more like.
Christina, would you share your experience?
Absolutely, yes. So, well, first, Bambi, thank you for sharing all of that. I'm so glad that you had some transformation even now. As I said before, you know, sometimes there's instant relief, and a lot of times, even when there is, it'll continue. So allow that change of information to integrate into your body, to accept, you know, that change as it goes. That warming sensation, to me, that's the energy starting to flow. So having that block that Andrea was talking about, getting some blood flow and nutrients to that area can be very healing. So I'm so glad that you had an experience and that you could share that with us. And I really hope that it continues throughout, you know, this week and longer. And I'd love to hear, you know, if you feel open to it, letting us know how it goes, you know, with our email addresses there. We'd love to hear more about how that goes as we continue on. And we can even maybe offer some more for you.
I'd like to put some context on this. I was noticing the clock. That was about 2.5 minutes of Tao Healing Hands blessing. 2.5 minutes. The neck pain dropped 50%, and the back pain may have dropped 100%. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I am very impressed.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah. I would also recommend, you know, if you can, to get a copy of the Tao Bei book. and you can just put it on your like neck. You can put it on your back. You put it on your heart. So it can heal more than just like your for the back. It is for the back, but you can also, and there's like some practices in here. There's like a QR code where you can like do practices to self-heal, which is as important as like receiving blessings, also important to do the healing work also.
So Andrea, you mentioned something. There's something in the book sounded like UFO.
Oh yeah. A Q. It's a QR code.
QR code. Okay, that's one of those things that if you learn how, you can take a picture of it with your smartphone.
Yeah.
To learn how a while back.
And then you can access practices. And I've, like the practices are just incredible. They bring someone, and they're so simple, it's like breathing in light, into your back, and just amazing.
Why do you need a QR code to do the practices?
It has
the QR code opens up into your phone or your phone, and then it brings up like animations. The animations are cool because it shows you like the pictures of where to practice and how to breathe. And
Well, that's a double bonus or a triple bonus book.
absolutely, it's like having a teacher in your home.
Wow. Wow. Well, we've run actually a little bit past how we usually do, but that's okay because this was fascinating. And Bambi, I'm so happy for you. I bet it's more than fascinating. So thank you both.
Thank you both
for being here. And thank you both, Christina and Andrea, for offering this service to Bambi. And Bambi, I am just so happy for you. Because
thank you all.
One of the local people that I know had congestive heart failure, and over about a year and a half, her heart doctor said, "I can't treat you anymore." And she went, "Say what?" He said, "Well, you don't have any symptoms anymore." She said, "I got congestive heart failure. That's incurable." And he said, "You don't have any symptoms anymore. Ethically, I can't work with you any longer." It just blew me away. So I wish that great a result for you.
Thank you.
And if you connect in with Christina and Andrea, you may receive more support.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you all very much. I know our producer is going to zip, and there you go. You're leaving and you're gone. So I do want to pass on some information that I was given, and that is this Tao Healing Hands Practitioner Program, the training, is offered literally around the world. And the producer is going to put a link over in the chat room. Oops, right there in front of me right now. 5 Levels of Creation Portland.com. There is a healing center here in Portland, and it's Tao Healing Hands, and Portland again, just in case you missed it the first time. So you might want to explore what this is all about. There's a training that's coming up. Not only that, but it's an ongoing program, and there it is in the chat room. So with that, I will leave you, our audience, for tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday. I'm Terry McGill, and this is Who's Your Neighbor?